We must do our work. Okay? We won't play. Alright? So you begin with unless. You begin with unless. Remember, unless and if can be used interchangeably, because what they introduce is a conditional clause, or just a condition, that unless this happens, this will not happen. That if this does not happen, this also will not happen. So unless, just like if, introduces us to a condition. And remember, you cannot use unless and not within the same clause. Alright? But in the next clause, there should be another word that denotes negative, so that the sentence goes, so that the sentence sounds grammatical. Because, for example, many students in this, in such questions would have said, we must, okay, unless we do not do our work, we won't play. Many students will go that way. But remember, unless has a negative meaning. So you cannot double negate. Okay? You cannot negate a sentence twice. Unless it is American English. It's only in America where you hear people say, I do not have nothing. And they communicate. But the English, the standard English that we use, does not allow that. So unless already denotes a negative. So we don't expect there will be any other word to negate the sentence. So unless we do our work, okay? And remember, like I said, this can be used interchangeably with if. So we said an if clause is always supposed to be separated from the independent clause, because an if clause is always subordinate. So it must be separated in the event that it precedes the independent clause. There has to be a comma separating the two. So unless we do our work, we won't play. If that is what you've written, give yourself 1 mark. Unless we do our work, we won't play. And that answer should include the comma. If the comma is missing, give 0. Be fair to yourself. Okay, number 2. People will not be denied emergency medical service. People will not be denied. People will not be denied emergency. People will not be denied emergency medical service. Emergency medical service in whatever circumstances. In whatever circumstances. But it's supposed to be in whatever circumstances. You are supposed to begin with no. Okay? Okay? So no and then continue. Okay, I was going through an answer to this from one of you, and there was a problem. So no, people will not be denied. Okay? Are we supposed to say no people or no person? Okay? Remember, we are not supposed to maintain the meaning. So we can even say nobody. Nobody will be denied. Okay, and of course that now will go because we cannot negate the sentence twice. So nobody will be denied emergency medical service. Nobody will be denied emergency medical service in whatever circumstances. In whatever circumstances. Nobody will be denied emergency medical service in whatever circumstances. Okay? Nobody will be denied. But I think even anybody who had said no person, okay, no person will be denied emergency medical service in whatever circumstance, then because you communicate the same idea, you'll be given a mark there, right? So, okay, I think it's now clear. Okay, so if you did this, give yourself a mark. 3, he entertained Kenyans. He entertained Kenyans. While the instructions, you rewrite this sentence in the past perfect. Okay? So, past perfect, we said, is formed with the auxiliary had plus the past participle form of the main verb. Just a reminder, we discussed this in Form 2. We discussed the perfect aspect. Okay? It expresses an action that is done and completed, either in the present. So if it's in the present, that is going to be present perfect. If it's done and completed in the past, then it's going to be the past perfect. We said if it is the present perfect, then we are going to have has or have, depending on the subject and how it will agree here, plus the past participle form of the main verb. That's supposed to be, that is if we are talking of the present perfect. But our question talks of the past perfect. Okay? So, if that's it, then this is supposed to be, he had entertained. He had entertained Kenyans. He had entertained Kenyans. If that's what you have for an answer, you can give yourself a mark. If not, then that means you need to go back to Form 2 and revisit the perfect aspect. Okay? You need to go back and revisit the perfect aspect. Now we are in green. Fill in the blanks with, okay? So the choices are many, little, few, a little, or much. Okay? These are quantifiers or quantifier adjectives. They modify the noun by quantifying or giving us the quantity of the noun. That is Form 3. You discussed quantifiers and their meanings and how they are supposed to function for you in sentences. Okay? So now what we have them there, we have many. Okay? We have little or little. That's supposed to be the correct pronunciation. We have few. We have a few. Okay? We have a little. We have a little and we have much. Alright, so you are supposed to use this to fill in the blank spaces. So Roman 1 was, do you have, oh sorry, that's not it. Roman 1 was, that's the next question. Roman 1 is dash city dwellers. City dwellers complain about air pollution. Okay? But dash are ready to give up their vehicles. So if you didn't have it, that's it now. Alright? So going by our choices, we're supposed to say many, and because it is at the beginning, M must be capital. Many city dwellers complain about air pollution. But because you want to bring contrast, you talk of few. Okay? Not many, not enough. That's what it means. So many city dwellers complain about air pollution, but just few are ready to give up their vehicles. Okay? So if you read that, there is one mark for many and the other mark for few. Right? And then Roman 2, you'd better do your shopping. You'd better do your shopping. You'd better do your shopping on Saturdays. Because you better do your shopping on Saturday because dash shops open on Sundays. Okay, we use many, little, few, a few, a little, and much. So you better do your shopping on Saturday because, okay, so remember, we are talking about shops. This is a count noun, okay? This is a count noun, and so we are saying the reason that we should do shopping on Saturdays is that there are enough, or let's say more than enough shops available on Saturday. That's why we are advised to do our shopping on Saturdays. Because on Sunday, okay, on Sunday we have a limited number, okay? But as much as it's a limited number, not that it is so much limited. So, because of that, in this blank space, you'd better do your shopping on Saturday because that shops open on Sunday. Use a few. A few shops open on Sundays. Okay? You'd better do your shopping because you're being advised. Not that we don't have shops on Sundays, but there are not as many shops as when you do your shopping on Saturday. Yeah? So, a few. You'd better do your shopping on Saturdays because a few shops open on Saturday. One mark. We move on to C. Fill in the blank spaces with the correct form of the word given in brackets. Fill in the blank spaces with the correct form of the word given in brackets. And the first one is, do you have a color dash asked on the wall? Do you have a color dash asked on the wall? So we have the verb prefer. We are supposed to get the correct form of that verb prefer to complete the meaning of this sentence. So we talk of, do you have a color? A color what? So from the verb prefer, we get the word preference. So do you have a color preference? So preference is derived from prefer. So in other words, do you prefer any color? Do you have a color that you prefer more than other colors. So, do you have a color preference? Okay, so preference is a noun that has been formed from the verb prefer, a color preference. Okay, Roman 2, the architect did not leave a dash for future expansion. Did not leave a dash for future expansion. So we need a noun from the verb provide. The architect did not leave we need a noun here. The word we need to make this sentence grammatical here is a noun. And that noun will have to be formed from the verb provide. Okay, so we talk of the architect did not leave a provision. A provision for future expansion. And then 3 is that owing to the delayed dash of funds, the project, owing to the delayed dash of funds, the project has stalled. Okay, so where are we? That was 1 mark, this is another 1 mark. Okay, so we are there now. So, owing to the delayed, so we talk of, it is from the verb disperse that we need to derive the correct form of the word that will give us the answer to that. So, owing to the delayed disbursement, of funds, the project has stalled. So if you wrote disbursement in its correct spelling, then that's supposed to give you 1 mark. And then now D, join each of the following pairs of sentences using appropriate conjunctions. Join each of the following pairs of sentences using appropriate conjunctions. And I was clear here, I said they have not specified the conjunctions. Okay, we have 3 types. We have the coordinating conjunction, we have the subordinating conjunction. You can eat your cake with a spoon. Okay, full stop, you can eat the cake. You can eat the cake with a fork. So like I was saying, they have not really specified the conjunction that you are supposed to use. They've just told you to join the 2 sentences into 1 sentence using a conjunction. So you have a choice. You can either use the subordinating conjunction, you can use the correlative conjunction, or the subordinating conjunction. So let's try and combine these 2 sentences. You can eat your cake with a spoon. You can eat the cake with a fork. Okay? So we can say to avoid a lot of repetition, let's just say you can eat your cake either with a spoon or a fork. This is the only way you're going to avoid unnecessary repetition. And what conjunction have we used? We have used the correlative conjunction either or. Because we said either or gives more than one positive choice. So you have a choice of eating your cake with a spoon, or you can decide to do it with a fork. So you can eat your cake either with a spoon or with a fork. If you've done exactly this, give yourself a mark, and the counting continues. Roman 2. I wanted to ride my bike. I wanted to ride my bike. Full stop. The tire was flat. I wanted to ride my bike. Full stop. And the second one is that the tire was flat. Okay? So, I wanted to ride my bike. The tire was flat. Let us combine that into one sentence using a conjunction. And in this case, I think we are supposed to use a coordinating conjunction. Okay? So we are going to say, I wanted to ride my bike. I wanted to ride my bike, but the tire was flat. I wanted to ride my bike, but the tire was flat. So we have used this diagram, a coordinating conjunction. Bring about what? Contrast. This was the expectation, but this was the result. And because the result contradicts the expectation, we use but. And as you can see, we said coordinating conjunctions join two independent clauses in a compound sentence. That's what we said. Other than that, we said the moment a coordinating conjunction is used, we are supposed to be joining two similar grammatical elements. And I think you can see the two similar grammatical elements in this case. We have the first bit being an independent clause, and the second bit also being an independent clause. So the coordinating conjunction but is joining two similar grammatical elements. So we're grammatically correct to say, I wanted to ride my bike, but the tire was flat. If you did just that, give yourself another 1 mark and continue counting. Yeah, if you did not get that as an answer, I also want you to make the necessary corrections, because by the end of it, it's important that you have the correct answers. Okay. So now the next question is, rewrite the following sentences and replace the underlined phrasal verbs with one word. Okay, rewrite the following sentences and replace the underlined phrasal verbs with one word. I felt dizzy and sick, then I threw up. I felt dizzy and sick, then I threw up. Okay, so talk of I felt dizzy and sick, then I vomited. So to throw up is to vomit. Okay, so we take care of the tense. Number 2, he made many threats. He made many threats, but did not pull them off. But did not pull them off. Meaning, he made many threats, but did not execute them. But did not execute them. Okay, so did not pull them off would mean did not execute or carry out the threat. So if you don't carry out, okay, you can be considered for a mark. Whatever it means is that he just threatened but did not go ahead to make the threats true. Okay, so if you did that, there'll be 1 mark for that and 1 mark for that. And then lastly, the rally driver pulled out of the safari. The rally driver pulled out of the safari. That would mean the rally driver withdrew. Check on the tense. Withdrew from the safari. Withdrew from the safari. Those are the 3 phrasal verbs. Let's take a break. So welcome back. Now let's finish up. Let's finish up the lesson. There's something I had overlooked. One more bit on the issue of combining sentences. There was one bit on the issue of combining sentences. There were 3. I gave 2. So let me finish that one so that now you can add as to how many marks out of 15 you have scored. So Sarah, this is what we had left out. This now is going to be Roman 3 of T. Sarah begins to sneeze. Sarah begins to sneeze. Full stop. She opens the window to get a breath. She opens the window. He opens the window to get a breath. To get a breath of fresh air. To get a breath of fresh air. So, the first one was a correlative conjunction. We used a correlative conjunction, either or. In the second case, we used a coordinating. Now in this, we are supposed to use a subordinating. So, let me put it like this. That when Sarah opens the window, that when Sarah opens the window, when Sarah opens the window to get a break of fresh air, she begins to sneeze. Okay? So I think it's a rule. It's a rule that when the subordinate clause precedes the independent, there is a comma separating the two, right? And I think the role of this now is our subordinate clause. Why? Because of the subordinating conjunction when Sarah opens the window to get a breath of fresh air, she begins to sneeze. If this is what it is, then you can give yourself 1 mark. So this is what you're going to do. Make a total and see how many marks you've been able to score out of 15. Like I said, this was a very standard exam, testing all the very important areas of grammar. So make a count and tell me how many marks out of 15 have you been able to score in this grammar exercise. Send me the results in my WhatsApp inbox. Yet, there was another area that I had given as an assignment. I'm trying to trace all the questions, but so far I've collected the first three. Use the correct form of the word given in brackets to fill in the gaps in each sentence. Okay? So, the dog barked, though this one was answered in class, not this barked, dash, the word is meanest. Okay, so we said, menacingly. It's an adverb that we need there. Okay. Most of the students we come across, most of the students we come across dash lazy. And the verb is be. So use the correct form of the verb be. So according to subject-verb agreement, it's supposed to be plural. So most of the students we come across are lazy. And then 3, God's power is, the word in brackets is compare. Let's use the correct form of that. So we talk of God's power. God's power cannot be compared to any other power. So from the word compare, we talk of incomparable. So God's power is incomparable. God's power is incomparable. Right. So that was it. That is what was expected of you. I'll be waiting for the results. Please let me know how many marks out of 15 you've been able to score out of the exercise that we just did today within the 2 lessons that we had. I'll be waiting. Until next time, I've been Mr. Morris. Good afternoon.